Have you ever been rejected, set aside, maybe even by your own family? That's where this story begins. Jephthah was not born into honor. He was the son of Gilead, and a prostitute. His brothers looked at him with contempt. They told him, "You will not inherit anything with us." And then, they cast him out. Pause for a moment. Imagine that. Your own family, rejecting you, pushing you away, simply because of where you came from. Ever been in that place? Jephthah ran to the land of Tob. And who followed him? Not the powerful, not the respected, but outcasts, men who had nothing, misfits, the kind of people society looks at and says, they'll never amount to anything. And yet, God was preparing something. Isn't it interesting how God often takes those the world rejects and raises them up in ways no one expects? Years later, Israel faced a crisis. The Ammonites had risen up against them, and the elders of Gilead, the same ones who cast Jephthah aside, now came begging for his help. Think about that. The one they despised became the one they needed. How often do we dismiss people in one season, only to realize later that they carried the answer all along? The elders pleaded, "Lead us, and we will make you our head." And Jephthah asked the obvious question, "Aren't you the ones who hated me? Why come to me now?" But they insisted, and Jephthah agreed. Before the battle, he tried diplomacy. He reminded the king of Ammon, Israel had not stolen land. They had taken nothing unjustly. He said, "Let the Lord, the judge, decide this day between Israel and Ammon." But the king refused to listen. And so, war was inevitable. Now, here's where things take a sharp turn. Before going into battle, Jephthah made a vow. He said to the Lord, "If you give me victory, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me will be yours." A burnt offering. Pause. Think about that vow. Why do we make promises in desperation? Have you ever promised God something, hoping He would answer your prayer? Did you keep that promise? The battle came, and Jephthah, empowered by the Spirit of the Lord, led Israel to a crushing victory. The Ammonites were defeated. Israel rejoiced. But then, Jephthah returned home. And the first to come out of his house was not a servant, not an animal, but his only child, his daughter, dancing with tambourines. Pause here. Can you picture his face? Can you hear his cry as the weight of that vow crushed him? He tore his clothes and cried out, "Oh no, my daughter! You have brought me down. I cannot take back my vow to the Lord." And here comes one of the most heartbreaking responses in all of Scripture. His daughter looked at him and said, "My father, you gave your word to the Lord. Do to me as you have promised. Only let me go for 2 months to the hills, to mourn my youth." She never married, never had children, never had a future. She spent those months in the hills with her friends, mourning what could never be. And then, she returned. And Jephthah kept his vow. And from that day forward, Israelite women remembered her. Year after year, they mourned the daughter of Jephthah. Now pause again. What do you do with this story? On one hand, Jephthah was a man of faith named in the book of Hebrews among the heroes. But on the other, his vow brought tragedy to his own house. So here's the question, was he faithful, or was he foolish? Should he have kept his vow? Or should he have fallen on his knees and begged for mercy instead? And maybe here's the deeper question for us. What words have you spoken before God? What promises have you made, in desperation, that still weigh on your soul? This story challenges us. It reminds us that rejection does not define us. God can raise up the broken, the forgotten, the outcast. But it also warns us, the words we speak to God matter. Vows are not to be taken lightly. So I'll leave you with this. Would you have done what Jephthah did? And what promises do you need to revisit before the Lord today? If this story stirred something in you, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more powerful journeys through the forgotten stories of Scripture. Because every story carries a lesson we still need today.